If you're managing a short-term rental property or running a property management company, there's a good chance that your business is not organized enough. Let me show you some examples. Firstly, your SOPs are in a Google Doc you haven't updated since you start running the business. A lot has happened since, we all know that, and it needs some updating, but some of the SOPs are not even in your Google Drive. Your cleaning schedule is technically a WhatsApp thread and groups, and somewhere along the mass, there's a spreadsheet that was supposed to track everything, but doesn't. Basically, you're just running a real business without a real system. And the difference between the operators who are scaling and the ones who are stuck or overwhelmed is always this. One of them has a good system, the other one is just disorganized. So today I am going to show you the exact system I built for my clients. Mind you, they paid thousands of dollars to get this installed in their business. But not only are you going to watch the system in this YouTube video, you can also install this into your Notion workspace right after watching this video. Before that, I didn't build this as a side project on one weekend. I compiled all of the system and built this directly from working with short-term rental management companies, directly with operators managing anywhere from 20 to 70 properties. So every system in this page exists because a real problem needs the solving. Not only that, some short-term rental specialists helped me build a bunch of these operational modules, pricing, and also revenue optimization modules, all included free in this template. So what you're about to see is the result of all of that refined into one system that not only management companies can use, but also accessible for single operators or hosts to use and duplicate from day one. So enough intro, let me show you what's in it. First thing first, you will land on this page where you can see all of the different other pages that I have created, all categorized into different sections. But don't worry, this is not your main home base. Your home base is gonna be this page right here, which is your company's daily operating system. You might not want to look at the list of pages every single day, so hence why I created this view. Now, it is highly customizable. This is just simply a template, so you can start customizing it according to your company's structure and obviously also visuals. So let me walk you through quickly what's inside this home base. First thing first is task database. Obviously, when you go through the day, you want to know what task you're doing. It's like your to-do list organized properly, not only for you, but also for your team members if you do have one or a few. This is where you can track everything. There's the status. There's also the roles, because I highly encourage you to use roles for your team members so they understand not only their primary role, what they need to focus on daily, but also what they need to deprioritize, meaning that they are only a support role for that specific task, because otherwise everyone's going to be doing the same task and it's just going to get confusing. Your team member doesn't have a specific role to something. Even if they have one, you also need to define who are they as the support role, because sometimes one of your other team member is sick or they need a backup, or you need backup. Who's going to help you with that backup? You need to define everything. That's why I have provided those properties right here. Due dates, urgency. It is also connected to a property database, which I will show you in a second. And I've also included the completion time. Is it overdue or not? So the team will have to be religious on actually setting the completion date so that you can also track their completion time and their efficiency throughout the week. There's a bunch of other different tables, like these. You can link multiple SOPs into one task, so your team member doesn't need to always go to different sections to get the information for that specific task. You can link any cleaners, any contractor. You can also put some of the task for tomorrow if you need to get that task done by tomorrow. The view is over here. There's also the view for today's task, which makes things easier for you to see what you need to get done every single day. There's also the status by chart, and if you want to request an SOP for that specific task, you can edit there. Not only that, I also have provided some templates for some of the tasks. So if you have recurring tasks like this, for example, a property inspection or an early check-in task, you don't need to always be reminding your team what to do. You can put all of the SOPs right here, the to-do list right here inside the page. So whenever they got this task, they know what to do. They update it all here. It's all under one page, which I really love. We all love simplicity and efficiency. You can also view the task by urgency or any overdue task. Once you've done the task, you can move it to archive, and later you can delete it so that it's not stacking up to hundreds of tasks. You can also create projects. Projects are simply, as it's called, it's a project, so it's going to be running for an extended period of time. You're going to want to track this, and within the project itself, you might have a couple of other tasks that you need to connect with the projects. And you can do so by simply selecting the task that you want this project to be connected to. There's also a view specifically for team members, so you can create different views depending on their name and their roles. So for example, this is my task view. It all only consists of the task that includes my name. So I don't have to be looking at other people's tasks if I don't want to. As per usual, you can also see it with different views. Now, there is also the team KPI section. If you want to track the task that includes any sport roles, you want to track the number of tasks by the status, any overdue task, and their completion time, you can do it all through this view. It gives you a clear data on how your team is performing, and this feature, by the way, is only for the short-term rental management companies because you might be handling more than 3 team members and you want to track all of their performances each and every day. Here is how you can do so. There's also a tutorial on this for further elaboration. You can track your upcoming meeting or any meeting task. Maybe it's either with a client, with a contractor, anything that you want to remember, you can put it here. Any errors that you have, you can track it here. And then we have the property database and the client onboarding stage. Now, the onboarding stages are only, again, for short-term rental management companies. This is where basically you can track the onboarding of a client. Once you sign in a new client, you might have a couple of things that you want to work on, whether that be interior design, whether that be also the first stage of after the contract is signed. You want to let them know how you operate. You want to figure all these things out. You can run it by stages, so you can separate each and every processes by stages, and inside the page itself, you can list all of the things that you need to do in all of those stages, whether that be, for example, in stage 1, you think of the property name, you create an Airbnb account, and then we move on to stage number 2, which is the interior design. If you're not doing an interior design, then change it to something else. And then what's within that stage? Within interior design, maybe you want to do home renovation first. You want to create the design first. All of it, you can write it down here. And for property database, this is accessible for all because all of you are managing properties one way or another. So in this database, you can basically list all of the information within that property, of the information that you might want to remember. If you click open, you will see all of their information right here. So you can scroll all the way down here and fill everything. You can also include some internal information or additional information if you want to include their photos here. Docs compliance table, you can do so here. Also, if you want to include the Airbnb description or their basically the booking description, house rules, all of that, you can also include it in this page. So everything is under one view. Now, the reason why I use a lot of tables is because with the management company tier, it is actually connected to a Tally form. So Tally is basically similar to Google Form, but it's integrated with Notion, makes it highly efficient so that you don't have to manually populate the information from Google Form, for example, to the property database. You can do it automatically when it is integrated with Tally. So you just need to hand your client the form with all of these questions included within the property. They will answer it and it will be automatically shown inside this database, which is very efficient, I say. And yeah, those are the main view. Now for the additional views, your team member gets its own dashboard. Again, this is only for short-term rental management companies, but all of you will get a meeting summary page. This is where you can track all of the meetings that you have within the week, within the month, short-term rental, contractor, and cleaning system. You can also add the dates of when they're going to be working. Then there's one of the most important part of Notion is having all of the SOPs here, because if you have the AI feature of Notion, you or your team member can basically just ask any question and Notion will answer it based off your SOPs. So nowadays you don't have to be creating like a ChatGPT project like what I used to do before Notion AI is a thing. I would compile all of the SOPs and then put in the ChatGPT, so whenever the team has any questions about the property or the SOP, they can ask ChatGPT. But now Notion has an AI itself, so you don't have to do all of that. You just need to structure your SOPs correctly or in a good structure so that Notion AI can pick all of the information up and answer your questions accurately. Then if you need to create SOPs and sometimes you might forget because it's drowned within all of the other tasks, there's an SOP request tracker here where you can list all of the SOPs that you want to create. There's also the templates, as I've mentioned before. You might want to create templates for each recurring procedures. I have provided some templates here and also an AI prompt so that you can also customize your own templates depending on your own procedures. Sales and marketing, you'll all get content engine dashboard. This is where you will plan all of your content pieces and make sure that you don't miss out on any content that you need to post. There's also a calendar view. You can track the KPIs. We go deeper and actually create, this includes like the planning, like creative brief, the launch checklist, monthly strategy review, weekly performance review. You can do all of that in this page. You can also either track the leads that you're getting each month from paid ads or the booking. With the short-term rental management company comes also Google Ads. There's the Google Ads weekly review log and also the variant task tracker, all accessible here in this page. Then we go to the client acquisition dashboard. For host or single operators, you will get a guest acquisition dashboard, which doesn't include any lead status, but pretty much all of the playbooks here are the same. But the brand strategy for, again, if you're a single operator, your brand strategy might be simpler than the ones running a whole company. So this is specifically for management companies. They will get all of these templates and again, a lead status. Oh, and I also almost forgot to mention there's also a property inventory and a shopping management system. You can list all of the inventories of each of your properties here and also what needs to be restocked. So the inventory database is actually here. You can input the current quantity, minimum quantity, and also maximum quantity if you want to add the maximum quantity. But with the minimum quantity, it will actually show you if you have enough stock for that current property or not. If you don't have enough, it will show automatically as low stock, and you can see all of the list of the things that are in low stock currently. So once you see that, okay, you check this and it will appear in the shopping list. So you don't have to like copy the name and then put it here, and you don't do it manually. You can just click that button and it will show up here. You can also see what you need to buy this week. And yeah, that is all of the main systems. Now I have included also some bonus SOPs which dive deeper into Notion AI. I've also included Notion tutorial. So if you are not comfortable in Notion, don't worry, there's a tutorial for everything here. I recorded video modules for everything. These are the extra SOPs that you can use if you don't have any SOPs yet, or if you need inspiration on SOPs. There you go, especially for VAs. I've worked with VAs before, short-term rental VAs, so I actually asked them to help me out with this, creating the SOP. So that SOP is created by a VA for another VA. And yeah, if for some reason you want to use Airtable, there's also the database here. It's not the same with this one here, so it's worth checking that out. And yeah, those are all of the necessary systems that you will need for your business or your current operations. So recap, if you've watched till this part of the video, you know that there are two versions of the system. The first one is for short-term rental hosts. So if you're managing your own properties, everything I just showed you, the SOP libraries, the property database, the pricing modules, the content engine, task management system, all of that is already included. But if you run a management company, there's some bonus systems like the client acquisition pipeline, owner onboarding system with the tally form, team KPIs and playbooks, paid ad systems. All of that is already included on top of what you're getting with the short-term rental host system. If you want to get this installed to your business right now, both of the links of these Notion templates are in the description below. And bonus point, if you're watching this during the launch period, if you're early to this, basically, they both have a launch price. And it's less than $100, by the way, for the first 30 buyers. After that, it will just go up to the normal price. So if you want to get it now, this is the perfect time to do so. I want to finish off by showing you or telling you about someone who paid me to get the system installed to their business. You can watch the video after this. You can just click the button here, or the link is also in the description below. And for those who are curious, the reason why I'm building and selling this publicly now is because I not only watch it all work in a real business with real properties, with real owners, real team members, but I want to make it into a template so that this is accessible to as many people as possible. I understand that some businesses or some operators just need to get the structure right. They just need to have the right information, the right systems, the right starting point, and they can run everything themselves. And on top of that, you might not want to always hire me or spend thousands of dollars to get this installed to your business. And yeah, that is the exact reason why I want to make this, again, accessible to everyone, because I truly believe that the better you run your short-term rental business, the better you will create experiences for guests. And hospitality is my passion. I want to make sure that everyone can have the highest quality standard at all times, because in my opinion, that's the standard hospitality deserves. And so yeah, that is what I'm trying to build. If you're building that kind of business or you want to, then this is the exact system to use. Again, the link is below. Have a look, and if you have any questions before buying, simply just comment down below or message me directly via my email. Every detail is in the description below. So yeah, I will see you inside the Notion workspace, because you will see my face again there anyways. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.